Hello, hello, and welcome to the live stream. Welcome to not the heat wave, I guess. Despite me saying yesterday that it's gonna be roasting, apparently the heat wave did not arrive today. It's still supposed to be over 30 for the rest of the week, but I'm kind of hoping that it won't be as bad as they said it will be, and we won't get like 38 or whatever it was supposed to be. So I have not melted yet, and I hope to remain unmelted this week. So yes, I'm able to stream because it's not hot. So that's nice. That's nice. And yes, hopefully today we can finish this meowseum mystery and figure out who... I mean, we figure out who's kind of done the initial events, right? We know who was involved, but clearly there is something deeper. There is something going on under the surface, a conspiracy of some sort, right? Like, the curator is suspicious, the investor is suspicious, even though they're not actually someone we can see, but we know they're involved. So there is a deeper conspiracy involving counterfeit art and stuff like that happening. So we are not done yet. As far as our like in-game book is concerned, we have 2 more pages to fill in. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but yesterday to fill in 3 pages it took us quite a while, so we'll see. You accuse the investor of being the one to organize the gem theft. I mean, yes, it does seem like that would follow. My kind of main theory right now is that the curator is basically stealing the art, right? They're stealing the art from the museum, replacing it with fakes, and then selling it under the table in order to pay off the investor, because we know there's some sort of debt situation. But then yes, the investor might be, you know, they may not like that's happening because they're like, well, I'm investing in this museum and you're basically selling it off piece by piece. So maybe they are decided that, okay, I'm just gonna steal things instead. I'm just gonna pay off some poor students who can't afford healthcare to do the heist, because, you know, somehow they're rich but they can't afford professionals. Or maybe they're just cheap like that, right? They're like, I'm not gonna spend money on professional thieves. I'm just gonna pay some kids. So let's get into it and let's try and figure it out. So yeah, we've got our page to fill in, which is once again a lot of something, right? We've got to have their something to the something. It's presumably the someone something. The someone plan to have something with a something and then something. They were in order: the something from the something, the something from the something and the something and the something and the something with the something. It was the something of the something who was something. The something. They had something before. In turn, the something became the something of the something, so the something would be something. When he something the something, this would ultimately cause the something plan to be something by the something. So, I hope that's all clear. I hope we all know what we're doing, what we're figuring out, and where to go from here. I think what we need to get into, since we just did the previous solve, we just have to go around the museum, see who else wants to talk. Hi. Dead red body. It is risen. What is going on? Oh, hey! You're the detective, right? I am. Aren't you, dead? I'm not just seeing things. Am I? Nah, I'm real. I'm still kicking. Just took a little nap on the floor there for a bit, I guess. Wait, did no one check? Did no one, like, actually confirm he was dead? Well, that's a twist. I took your pulse and everything. Well, I've been told I have a pretty subtle pulse. Something with my heart. I never listened to the medical jargon. Anyways, the podcaster over there, she filled me in what's been happening since I was out. I think I'm supposed to do an interview about it. Didn't listen too well to that either. But I think I've got a solid excuse. Oh, of course. How are you feeling? Been better. Been worse. I should probably get checked out, but I'm sure it's fine. It's like I faked my own death. That's some real underground black market stuff right there. It does certainly add an interesting wrinkle. Would you be open to answering some questions about what you remember? Whatever, man. I'll do my best. Great. There's no time to lose, so let's get started. No use holding back, detective. Okay, well, now we're going to interview the victim who turned out to not be dead after all this time. After all this time of just basically walking around here, walking over him, you know, talking to other people. He was just taking a nap, apparently, and no one figured out that, you know, he's not dead. So, personal questions. Go ahead. Who are you? Oh, you wanna run for all the questions? Ha, alright. I just figured since you've been at this a while, you know enough by now. At this point, not only are you a suspect, you're a perpetrator and also a valuable witness, so yes, I will likely need to run through all the questions. Ah, so you got to the bottom of all this, huh? I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. I know you and the student were hired by a client to steal the Optimus diamond, if that's what you mean. Damn. Here I was hoping that maybe I could still take a fall for him. At least, not literally this time. From the sound of it, you two are quite close. Is this familiar territory? Not for him. For me, sure. But this job was best suited for two, and he had the skills necessary. Not to mention, it was obviously a huge score, so splitting it with him was easier to swallow, and he wouldn't stab me in the back. You have other associates then. Does this include your client? It's a network. I'm sure at least somewhat familiar, detective, but nah. The client? I never heard of them before. Interesting. That raises a few more questions. No use holding back, detective. What do you do? I mean, other than like breaking into museums and causing chaos. You mean besides getting mixed up in this sort of situation? I do work for a body shop, you know, for bikes and cars. Is that how you got involved with the biker club? In a roundabout way, yeah. Everybody knows everybody in those circles, at least in this city. And that network you mentioned, is it connected to that? There's overlap, but if you're after the client, they're not a regular fare. I don't know much about them. They had all the walls up. The students say they provided some pretty crucial information about the museum. You didn't think anything of that? Unless they pay us for it, clients bring their own intel. So no, seems standard. But they didn't know about the security system. Is that correct? Yeah, I thought this was weird, but we figured it out. The alarm wasn't our issue. We were just unlucky. Things went south. Seems that way, but there might be more details we can work out about why. No use holding back, detective. About today's events. Sure thing. What were you doing? Leading up to everything, well, I came to the museum alone, paid admission for myself and the student. I knew he wouldn't have any money on him. Wandered around a bit, checked everybody out, eventually met him there where the diamond was, and went over the whole plan again, just to be safe. Is that when you decided to instigate an argument with the old-timer? As a distraction, yeah, but I don't know, he was a bit too eager to start something. Says the one who brought a gun? Look, I never meant to use it. It was like a backup of a backup plan, a last resort. That old timer surprised me, so I just wanted to get him to back down as it is all. I need you to know I never intended to use it against anyone. Just a little bit of intimidation. I mean, I'm pretty sure threatening people with a gun is still a crime. And how did that go for you? Not great. That's all me. At least you recognize that now. Let's continue on the rest of the evening, shall we? What happened? Well, after I pulled out my gun, like I said, that old timer shook off a decade or two, really started a fight. I kept my distance, but he was adamant about getting physical, so the brawl spilled out onto the courtyard balcony. He got the advantage, shoved me against the wall, and before I knew it, we were struggling over the grip of the gun. I wasn't planning on using it, but I couldn't tell ya who really pulled the trigger. Luckily, it didn't hit anyone. One way or another, the recoil pulled me off balance, and then he broke my grip against the stanchion. It was empty, so I let it drop into the courtyard. The rest is a bit of a blur, detective. I must have taken a good hit or something. Next thing I know, I'm waking up on the floor. The ground floor. Broadly speaking, that lines up. I have some other inquiries to make, I think, if you're still up for it. No use holding back, detective. Okay, so yeah, they only fired like a couple shots or one shot accidentally, and somehow that, you know, the gun was empty. He really didn't have bullets. Hello, Jordan. Welcome, welcome. We've just discovered that the dead guy is not dead. He's just standing here talking to us. About your ID card. Unfortunately, I can't return it just yet, but I was curious. It's for a biker club, correct? Yeah, you could call it that. A couple guys at the garage got me into it, because a bunch of the old bars have gone under by now. Nobody likes it, and they put stupid fake names on IDs, but they serve drinks and got darts, so I don't complain too much. I was wondering about that. Monkey Wrench seemed fairly on the nose to me. Yeah, nothing other than formality. All of us treat it like a joke. The folks that run the place want to have the speakeasy vibe, but it doesn't really work. Okay. I wonder. I might have some questions, but there's something I need to double check afterward. No use holding back, detective. Okay, so this is all the questions for now. So we got an inconsistency already in what he says. So it says, disoriented, the bank backpedaled toward the balcony of the Natural History Museum exhibit, and then over the edge. The fall was fatal. Except, it was not, right? His testimony tells us that there was indeed, he was not dead. Ah, I see. That makes sense. In all my years as a detective, I don't know that I've ever corrected a testimony this obviously wrong. When the punk fell, he didn't die. He was just knocked out. I would know. I've spoken to him. Yes, it's super weird because, you know, I don't work for the police or whatever, but I am fairly sure if someone dies, they tend to call like a medical examiner of some sort, right? So they can come and confirm the person is indeed dead. Right? And take the body away and all that kind of stuff. They don't just let a person lie on the ground and be like, yeah, he looks dead. Just leave him there. So that's curious for sure. And yeah, we got a new word for underground in our notebook. Okay, well, let's keep going. Let's keep revisiting rooms because who knows, you know, what other weird things may have changed. Yeah, the students at least will be happier now. They'll be like, really? Alive? Apparently we don't even have a dialogue with him. We can't even tell him. Yeah, he's like, I'm innocent. You're not. Stop saying that. Okay, we can't even inform him of his friend surviving. Okay, now nothing here, so I guess we can go... Okay, the tourist is here. But if nothing here, then we can go upstairs. Yes, he's got nothing new to say. Upstairs we go. Because I probably should look around the secret room. See if there's anything new there we can pick up. Check the balconies. Check the fertility statue, you know, still here. Still looking fertile as ever. The vent is still here, like examining the vent. Does it have anything for us now? This air duct has been witness to some pivotal moments of the evening, huh? Well, let's get it open and see what it can tell us. Finally! Why couldn't you open it before? Like, we've had this screwdriver for ages. Well, let's just get it open and see what it can tell us. Just one more screw and got it. Look at that! A stone-faced statue. I never saw the exhibit in one piece, but it seems identical. Okay, so once again, they've taken the art, but they've put it in the vent, right? They didn't remove it from the museum yet. There's no strange stamp on the underside, so it's safe to assume this is the original, and the one down there was the replica. But there's something else in here too. No canvas though, it just looks like a piece of paper? It's a note, neatly written, but I'm not sure what it means. Back on classic Trial of Clues detective, just like the old days. Okay, so we've got a new piece of evidence, a note with some sort of cipher. Okay, we can't examine it further. I'm also on it, so you can't see, but it's literally just a string of piece of paper that says 0385 504 209. So some sort of number string. Doesn't look like a phone number, and it's too bit obscure to run through any police database. Could there be someone that recognizes it? Okay, so we have to ask people about it. No, so we now may have unlocked more dialogue. Presume. No vents here. No. Okay, anything new to examine? No, like we can go on the computer, but presumably nothing new will be there. Pictures and stuff like that. Okay, everything is still the same here. Yeah, the guide has something new to say. I assume we can show her the piece of paper and she will say if she knows anything about it. But we also have the curator. No, curator's got nothing new, and the guard's got nothing new. So just the guide. We somehow magically know that the guide is the one that will know. Okay, so lady, what do you know about this number? Also, let me spin a little bit. Have you put it all together yet, detective? I'm working on it and hoping you may be able to answer a few more questions. Yes, about this note. It doesn't look like much to me, a string of 10 random numbers. Do you recognize them? No, I don't think so. We have internal identifications for the exhibits here, but I'm not familiar with anything in this format. Wishful thinking, I suppose. It's never that easy these days, huh? If you say so, detective. I'm sure there's someone who knows. Let's hope so. Now, would you mind answering some other questions? Except there are no other questions, yes. Her ears stick out, yes. Now I have bunny ears. So, do you know anything about it since you've been hacking the system? And you're definitely not innocent. Do these 10 numbers mean anything to you? Do they mean anything to me? Of course they do. Several things. Empty wallets, sore shoulders, and all-nighters. I've poured so much time and money into numbers like that for one purpose. Keeping the exploitative system of education alive. Textbook after worthless, heavy, and incomprehensible textbook. Are you insinuating that this configuration of numbers is for identifying books? Do you happen to know which book specifically? Yes, because people just memorize the book numbers. But maybe he does. Don't be ridiculous, detective. First of all, I don't have the mental fortitude to remember any of them, but also, there are infinite books out there. I'll have to find someone who can look it up in a database or something. Actually, come to think of it, I know just the person. I mean, I presume it's the goose police officer that's been doing all the things for us. That we can ask to look up a book for us, since they've done everything else. And they're gonna turn up in their car in 5 seconds with a copy of the book so we can have a read. Hey. Hello, Goose Cop. Oh no, we're just gonna call the bookstore, right? Because from the tutorial, when we had to call the bookstore, we can call them again and be like, do you know this book? Considering my milky stupor from yesterday, I know they keep late hours, but let's hope it isn't too late. Hello, very much craft. Welcome, welcome. Good evening. Bookgator on second. What can I do for ya? Hello, sorry to bother you again. Detective, I didn't expect you this time. Have you gotten yourself into another mess? Well, have you missed the stream? The dead guy is not dead. That's the main discovery so far. He was just having a nap. And we found a note in the vent that seems to lead to a book. Detective, I didn't expect you this time. Have you gotten yourself into another mess? Luckily no, but I'm unraveling a pretty complex case. An actual crime. And I've got this clue I'm not sure what to make of. I can't disclose too much, but I've got the series of numbers here, and reason to believe it's for identifying a book. Those 0385 504 209 bring up anything? Yeah, it seems to be the first edition of the Da Viper Code. I hope that's helpful, detective. I assume it's supposed to be the Da Vinci Code. You know, my father was a huge fan of that book, actually. Of course, I know all about it, but let's say, hypothetically, if I didn't. Yes, Crystal almost rolled him up in a cardboard tube, but turns out that may have then killed him, right? And we would have been the murderer. We're gonna have to listen to a retelling of the Da Vinci Code. Hypothetically, I would tell you it's a mystery novel about religious history, famous artwork like the Mare Lisa, and so on. Huh? You don't say. I think that might be exactly what I needed to hear. I can't thank you enough. Don't worry about it. Just happy to help. Hope you sort everything out. Click. That painting is hanging in the museum's courtyard, on the upper level balcony. I should go check it out. And the nearest air duct too. Okay, more air ducts. Yes, I was like thinking they're gonna have us remember the plot of that whole book. Like, I have read it long time ago, back when it came out. You know, I think everyone was reading it at the time, but other than it being this weird setup with the main guy being, what was he, a symbolologist? Or something like that? I don't really remember how it went. Yes, here's the Mare Lisa. And here's another vent we can now open. Again, it's a bit weird. Why didn't we, as the detective, just go and like, I have a screwdriver, let me just open all the vents, right? Why do we need specific clues to know which vent to open? Just like I would do with a good book on a warm summer night, let's crack open this air duct. Familiar sight. A rolled up canvas. And it looks just like the Mare Lisa up there. I could confirm this with the guy, but I bet the one in my paws is authentic. And how could I forget? There's another note. Definitely a pattern, but who left this obvious trail for us to follow? I hope there's an answer, but I suppose the possibility of a dead end always exists. No reason to give up until then, though. Okay, so another note. Now it's like geographical coordinates. Let me just... I can't zoom it in, which is a bit of a shame that they don't let us zoom in the evidence, even if there isn't anything to examine. If I move myself slightly, you can see that it's some sort of coordinates. So we're gonna go get our Google Maps out or whatever you may be needing to use. Okay. Well, who we gotta ask about that then? Oh wait, that's not an exit. We can't reach anyone from here. Do we need to cop? Or is someone here just able to read coordinates? Apparently, the security guard might just recognize the location. Aye, detective. About this note. The surrounding details aren't necessary to discuss, but the numbers written here. Can you make any sense of them? Let me take a look. Oh, detective, you're telling me you don't recognize those? 2 sets of 8 numbers, subdivided into 2 and separated by comma, period, and quotation? Still no bells? That doesn't wiggle any of my whiskers, no. Oh, come on, they're coordinates! Exactly! Is the detective stupid? Didn't they teach you that at the academy? I could probably still break those down if you want. From what I can tell, 29, 58, and 3108. Well, what have you got? Anything significant? Very significant, detective. And old. Have you ever visited the pyramids? The pyramids? That must mean the antiquities exhibit. Huh. I don't know what I'm leading you to this time, but glad I could help, nonetheless. You certainly have. I might have a few more things to discuss, but then I must investigate this. Okay, except we don't have anything more to discuss because we've already discussed everything at the first opportunity. Those capitals are in Egypt. I mean, it makes sense that they made it, you know, actually accurate. But yes, there is like, yeah, a sarcophagus here and some other Egyptian pieces. So yeah, there's a vent in this room here. 4th time's the charm. That's what they say, right? Ah, doesn't matter. Let's get to it. Unscrew this one and then that one. Okay, air duct. I got your friends to talk. How about you? Just reach in and yes, as I suspected. It's a small horse statue. Probably a counterfeit. The frog did it. But there's nothing else. I guess that means we hit a dead end. Such a shame. We were on a roll. I mean, that just means, you know, they haven't been stealing more. Considering everything, we should do more questioning, double-check all my notes, and then attempt to draw conclusions. The guy will want an update too, since she's been following along. Keep it up, detective. This is the final stretch. Okay, yeah, so we gotta talk to people more, figure out more, and then, in theory, we should be able to fill in the page. Okay, the artist got nothing to say. The guide, she wants to know about the fake art. Yeah, the forgeries. Without any more notes, it seems like the trail has gone cold. That's a shame, but you've recovered 2 almost stolen pieces of art, detective. Nothing to shake a snout at, if you ask me. Of course, still a victory, but unless you can get them to talk, we might be at a dead end. I sure can't, but you know, I've been thinking. Clearly, someone was trying to steal the art, right? They'd swap in fakes from the air duct, and no one's the wiser. And from what you've told me, no air duct had more than 1 piece, except in here. Not to mention, we haven't found a counterfeit diamond. Maybe they really aren't related. 2 heists in 1 day would be peculiar, but not impossible. Besides, don't you have some fancy forensic equipment you could use? With all this extra evidence now, surely there's something to be done. You're right. A great detective never lets the trail freeze over. I'll have to ask the officer what could be done. But in the meantime, would you mind answering some other questions? Except we don't have any other questions. Okay, so we gotta call Officer Goose again to do forensics for us. But yes, I don't think the 2 things are related in that sense, right? I think the kids being told to steal the diamond is separate from what I think is the curator's doing, where he's slowly replacing the art with counterfeit art to sell it under the table. Who shall I call? The police department. Hope the case is coming along smoothly. What can I do you for? About the forgeries. I found a few alongside some authentic pieces as well. I was wondering if the department has any equipment for analysis. I'm pretty sure we do, but I have to find it. You know how unorganized the commissioner is. Honk. Alright, take your time. I've got quite the mess of my own, so clear that up in the meantime. Click. Okay, somehow we sent it over the phone, the art, because he didn't show up. He didn't show up to get it. So, magically sent away. Okay, I was like, can we go into the road and open the manhole? But we cannot. There could have been a whole secret base in the sewers. Never know. Okay, anyone else got anything else to say? You got nothing more? I mean, maybe the people upstairs got stuff to say, like the curator, not the curator, I keep confusing him, the critic and the old-timer. Nothing more from you two? Okay. Well then. I guess we gotta start drawing some conclusion in our notebook then. If no one else has anything more to say. Nope. Okay. Okay, we've got some stuff updated here. Yeah, it's the financial fiasco that's left, right? So there was a phone number still visible on all of the contracts in those classified documents, so I called it. The automated message was for a private investment conglomerate. When I asked the critic about the investment firm, he told me their negative reputation preceded them. Apparently they are known for being predatory and underhanded. Left behind in the maintenance room was also a photo from when the museum employed 5, including the artist's father, the mechanic, who passed after retiring. The curator confirmed my suspicions about the contracts with the investment firm. Museums seek additional funding all the time. With assistance from the guide, I uncovered a strange series of portrait swabs within the museum's various exhibits. As a last-ditch effort, I could run them for fingerprints. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do in the lab. But can we do this? To have there's something to the something. Plan to have some... Okay, I think this is what I've basically been saying this entire time, right? Because the museum is in debt to the investment firm, the curator is swapping the art and selling it under the table, right? So to have their debt to the investor and then it's like repaid or cleared. Paid. I guess paid is fine. The curator plan to have... No, you go here. Some of art. There isn't like a one word... Oh, here. Artwork. I'm looking at locations because, as we know, everything is a location. Plan to have some artwork replaced with a counterfeit and then sold. Do we have sold? No. Plan to have some artwork replaced with counterfeit and then, like, I wanted to say sold, but we don't have that here. Stashed? Maybe. a weird end to the sentence, right? But maybe. So, one or two things are incorrect. To have their debt to the investor paid. The curator planned to have some artwork replaced with a counterfeit and then stashed. Okay, we need to improve something here. It's just what would fare better? Because I assume the debt is to the investor, right? Like that's what the whole contract was about and why the investor's shady. Like, I know stashed makes sense, right? Because they were stashed. But it just kind of, to me, it makes like a weird end to the sentence because stashed is not the ultimate objective, right? Just putting them in the vents is not solving the problems, right? Like, what you want to do is sell them. But we don't have a word for that. Yeah, we don't have it yet, maybe. Like, it could be a word to unlock, because there is still room for actions. But there's no conversations available, as far as I can tell. Yeah, just trying to figure out the sentence. Yeah, there are no things here. I mean, we can try some of the other stuff. They were in order. The something from the something. Okay, so this is the art here. Like, it says which thing was stolen in order. So we're supposed to know what did they take first. Do we even have the... multiple pieces were counterfeits? A counterfeit feels weird as well. Yeah, but that's what we got. Like, yeah, I mean, counterfeits or fakes would have been better, like felt better as a sentence, but we don't have anything better. But we also don't have the name of it, because I was like, they were in order to something from something, or maybe it's like just a generic. So there was the statue from this department, or the painting from this exhibit, right? How do we know the order? Is it the order we found them in? Is it the reverse order we found them in? Because the notes were leading us places in some of them, right? The note that was near the statue led us to the painting, and then the note from next to the painting led us to the antiquities and the Egyptian stuff. But then the dog painting, right? That one didn't have a note, and then the Egyptian exhibit, that one also didn't have a note, so it didn't lead to anywhere. And yeah, we can't inspect the art or the note or anything. Old note, outside old statue. Yes. Identify for a book. Another air tag with another note. This one has 2 sets of digits. Yeah, that's the Egypt. Why leave those notes? Right? What is the meaning of the notes as well? if you're doing the stealing, why do you leave yourself cryptic notes about, and that's the other thing I stole? And yes, does the note indicate the previous thing that was stolen, or does it indicate the next target on the stealing list? Oh, and also I think so one of them wasn't yet replaced, right? One of them was a forgery that was in the vent. Yes, the dog painting that we found, that was still the forgery in the air duct, which means the dog painting has not yet been replaced. And it seems to suggest that the Egyptian figurine is also not yet replaced, because the Egyptian figurine is still the counterfeit art. While this, the statue from the top of the natural history and the Mare Lisa are the real art pieces that were already removed. So if the statue led to the Mona Lisa, do we say the statue was first? They were in order, like they were just saying this is the next target, the statue from the natural history exhibit. Is the investment company leaving notes for someone else, or they get to grab them from the museum? Yeah, it's like, who's leaving those notes, right? Because if it's just one person doing this, why are they leaving those notes? So it's like someone saying, this is what I want next. We want exhibit here. Like they're basically picking up their order, right? Someone's like, okay, I've removed this artwork, put it in the vent for you. And then they're like slipping in a note, okay, this is what I want next. Could you please steal that for me? Then what? The painting. From the... What, just the balcony? Right, because that painting is just on the balcony upstairs. Yeah, it's the courtyard exhibit, but at the top is just the courtyard balcony. Statue, so those are the two things that were already replaced. The painting from the balcony is something, and the something in the something with the something. Like this sentence is now, because like those two made sense, right? It's something from somewhere and something from somewhere, but then the something and the something something in the something with the something. Like, are we now to the... Because one of them is a statue sculpture from the antiquities, and the other is a painting from the fine art display. But why with the something? What's with something? Sentences, why are you so weird? Forgery swabs. But we don't get the fingerprints yet. There's some painting on canvas that appears identical to an exhibit which is currently hanging in the fine art exhibit, and a historical artifact that appears identical to an exhibit currently on display in the antiquities exhibit. They're both illegal reproductions that I found in air ducts. They seem to be linked along with the authentic air duct art pieces and the broken statue by a series of cryptic notes and some larger heisting conspiracy. Sure. And also that they never actually took the original art, right? Even though it's been already replaced and removed and put in the air duct, whoever was doing it, they never got to that step of actually taking it? Were they waiting for everything to be removed and only then doing it? Oh, maybe this makes sense. The painting from the balcony, there's something else and there's something else, right? So this part talks about free painting, so it doesn't keep saying painting from the balcony, painting from the fine art, painting from somewhere else, right? It just says the painting from one place, the other place, and another place. But does that make sense with everything? Because we have 2 statues and 2 paintings. Are we like missing? Are we missing a piece that was stolen? Because this is one item from somewhere, then second item from somewhere. Then same type of item in a different place. And then something with the something. Like, it feels like there should be a 5th thing that's gone missing. Or am I miscounting this somehow? Because, like, there is a vent here, but we can't interact with this one. So, seemingly nothing was... That's the weird one, right? Because for everything else, the art is in the vent in the same room. But for some reason, the art, the dog painting is here, right? But where the forgery was found for this art is in here. That's where we found it. In this vent. Why is that one in a different room? What's going on here? Oh, actually, this last one could be that the last one was found with the gem, right? It was in the duct with the gem, basically. In the air duct with the gemstone. There it is. So the painting from the balcony. and the something something, and the counterfeit painting, not gemstone, and the counterfeit painting, or artwork, no, we do have painting, in the air duct with the gemstone. Okay, so I think this ending may make sense. So they were in order: the statue from the natural history exhibit, the painting from the balcony, oh, okay, but then we have two statues to still account for, so this is backwards. So that would say the painting from the courtyard balcony, and then we have two statues. So the courtyard balcony. I'm not sure how we were supposed to get the order of it, because if that painting is first, a note led to it and it had another note to go somewhere else. But then the other two, they were notes. So the painting from the courtyard balcony, the statue or sculpture, one of those things. From the... Does that make sense? Because now I would have to put in... like, the statue from the natural history and the antiquities. And the counterfeit painting in the air duct with the gemstone. No, that's very wrong. That's very wrong. Because I'm trying to make it fit in terms of saying the something from something. Are those... I don't know, backwards, like was the antiquity statue first, then the natural history one? No, that's still very wrong. But... Hello. Hello. You wanna be seen? You wanna be heard? No, just wanna scream. Firefly is here, but she just wants to stand there and scream. Meow. No, hello. Let me just change this so you can see her shenanigans. She can entertain you while I struggle. Nope, she's off. Are you messing with me, lady? Are you messing with me? Messing with the microphone, messing with the stuff. Yep. Just come here for some scratches. You've been in the sun enough? Where do you want to be? Because you can't be on my lap. You can't be on my lap, that's where the controller is. You can see her tail. That's all you get. The tail and no more. You're gonna have to pay for more. She's like, did you subscribe? Did you subscribe to cat pics? Are you the real influencer in this house? You're just gonna extort people for their money? Okay, can we play? Can we go back to figuring out sentences? You got to tell the tale of the firefly tale. Okay, so what is going on? What is the order? Because we have 2 paintings and 2 statues. And one of each is still real, and one of each has been replaced with the counterfeit. And like the counterfeit painting in the air duct with the gemstone sounds good to me, right? That sounds to me like a good use of this space. So I assume I just get it wrong in terms of the other order. You done, Mrs.? You're bored with everyone. Okay. Well, I guess she was just here for the drive-by scratches, not for actual stream time. Such a tease. Any thoughts about the sentences? Because it's definitely this ending. So it then is the order between the statues and the... But then one of the statues is also counterfeit. Like, one of the statues also hasn't been replaced yet, right? So it's like... she's back. She's back again. She just cannot decide what she's doing. So this could be like, this could be the statue from the natural history balcony, actually, because it's not from the main exhibit, it's from the balcony. And then the painting from the courtyard. Cat real estate. Some days everything is interesting, sometimes nothing is interesting. I mean, yes, she's like, oh yeah, I like being here. And then suddenly she's like, no, I don't like being here. I want to be over there where you definitely don't want me to be. Painting from the courtyard. Because like those two have to be first because they were actually replaced. But then this is weird. Because then it's like what the object we have remaining undescribed is this Egyptian artifact. Right? They're not even calling it a statue or a sculpture, it's an artifact. Maybe that's the word. Do we have, yeah, oh, we have artifact. So we can say the artifact. Okay, well, we're closer. We're closer. Statue from the natural history exhibit rather than balcony. Okay, that got worse, which means balcony is correct. Maybe it isn't counterfeit painting, some other phrase involving the painting. Well, I mean, we can abuse this thing, right? Because we can try and figure out what's wrong. Like, yes, it looks like balcony is the correct thing. So is this reversed? Is the courtyard balcony the first thing? No, because that gets worse. Which means it has to be the natural history. Was it statue or was it sculpture, this one? Because I remember last time we were like, is it statue? Is it sculpture? Sculpture the object? No, okay, it is statue. So yes, it was definitely the statue from the natural history balcony first. The painting from the courtyard. the artifact. And then the counterfeit painting. Is it something else? Yeah, is it something? Because obviously we're saying things are replaced, so maybe this is a different word. Like the fine art painting, right? Because that's what this other gallery this one is in. Okay, that doesn't make it better, but it doesn't make it worse. Painting from fine art? No. Okay, so this should be courtyard as well. And the painting in the air duct with the gemstone. Everything is yellow. Everything is yellow. And then it was the something of the something. Which just feels like it was the person. Like I just keep on saying it was the curator of the museum who was replacing the paintings or something. Although again, the sentence is weird. There's something, they had something before. What is going on here? Is there anything we can ask the cop about? Because it's like... we've put in some other stuff, right? Like... yeah, because last time it was like, he said, oh, they got the logs out, right? They got the logs out. But then they were like, find some logins or something. And then we didn't get any logins. Yeah, we haven't found any search terms to try. But no one has anything new to say. Okay, we can't call the investment firm either. So what have we not searched that we couldn't get any details about, like the login information? Maybe we should go on the computer. Maybe we should check the computer and see if there's anything more there. Because that feels like we're probably missing a big chunk of information because we haven't gotten anything from the logs. And that would probably give us like, oh, this thing was touched by this person, and this thing was touched by that person, or something like that at least. Okay, I've touched the computer. You don't have to be sorry, Crystal. Welcome, welcome. Always good to see you. Feels a bit familiar. This is the second computer I had to investigate tonight. Okay, he says don't need to investigate it again. I already exported all the alarms data logs, so I shouldn't need to. Okay, so somehow the logins are somewhere else. Okay, he's like, I found the classified files, don't need to search here. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna return the screwdriver when the case is closed. Wait, that's probably the youngest artist depicted there in the family portrait. The young artist depicted there in the family portrait. Wait, could that be the curator there too? Yeah, I mean, we already asked him about it, so... Yes, you've missed the important bit, Crystal, is that the dead guy, not dead. So good thing we didn't roll him up into a tube. Because that could have actually killed him. Like, could we, you know, is there a way to get, like, the names of the exhibits? Look, he's alive. He's just hanging out here. Just casually. He said he was taking a nap. Just got knocked out for a bit. Okay, and we've investigated everything about this as well, so... You got any more things you want to talk to us about? No. I mean, the guide's been the most helpful out of everyone so far. But apparently no one knows any logins for anything. And this is the statue that was replaced, or was going to be replaced. Statue of small horrors circa 3000 BC. Basic depiction of my favorite avian god. Just very tiny and strange accomplice to a series of stolen art pieces, apparently. Yes. But that one is not been replaced. No, I haven't put it all together. And I don't know where to take it now. Diseased gourds and such things. Is this vent interactive? No. Nothing in this desk to investigate. Nope, no questions to ask. Strange. Strange that there is nothing else to ask anyone. And yet, somehow, we're missing information. The plaque reads The Mar, Lisa by Leonardo da Viper. I don't want a promise. I want Arsene Lupus here as a prisoner with handcuffs on him in the week. I love that old movie, one of the few our Feline family had, and little did I know I'd be living my own rendition of it someday. Yeah, okay, because someone stole it. And like we've cracked the vent open. Yeah, found the Mara Lisa rolled up and stuffed inside. Come to think of it, if this museum didn't have such a robust air conditioner, this case could have been much simpler. Yes, like they wouldn't have space to hide all of the art in the vents. Yes, because this one says the security system does log every interaction it witnesses, and with those database logs, I'm one step closer to cracking this case if I can figure out what they mean. If I can search the logs for a username, I might have a lead, but where would I find something like that, right? That would lead us, most likely, I presume, if we can get someone's username, to discovering who was touching the art, right? That would tell us, like, this person touched this art on this day, and then they touched that art on that day, and then they touched the vent, or something like that, right? But where do we get that from? Where do we get that information from? As far as I know, oh no! I have... Interesting fact, the Mona Lisa painting is half the size of the one in this game. Yeah, I hear it's actually fairly small. Again, I haven't seen it myself. Rack not interactable, no, but we have a second inspection we can perform on the victim's belongings, apparently. So there is something new here. Oh yeah, because they were talking about like his ID card. So maybe that's relevant now. Yeah, member ID, monkey wrench. Okay, so that might be it. That might be it. Oh, of course. I knew there was something else here. From the looks of it, this isn't your typical license. In fact, it doesn't even have his legal name printed anywhere on it. Looks more like internet alias or something. Oh, could this alias like this be searchable in those security logs? I should have the officer check it. Okay. Well, that at least gives us the punk's ID. But if we're saying... You know, are we saying the punk has been doing all of this? He's been along for this ride of stealing all of the paintings? I thought he was just here once for the gem. I guess we're about to find out. Yeah, let's call the police department, Officer Goose. About the alarm. Where did we stand on those security logs again? At the moment, I'm just waiting on some search terms to try. Have you found any? I think so, but I have a feeling I know what's going to come back. Would you try XX Monkey Wrench XX? Such a username. That's definitely a unique one. Oh wow, I see it right here. This thing even keeps fingerprint records. Makes sense. And look at that. I have an entry here that says the user matching that ID opened the gemstone display case earlier tonight. Good work as always, detective. Well, assuming that's the outcome you were hoping for. It was, yes, but more of a confirmation at this point. The student already confirmed to hacking the punk's credential into the system. Oh, I may have spoken too soon. That username was registered, but then it was removed. And whoever did the removing was only registered a few minutes prior. Okay, so that's the whole thing we were bouncing around yesterday, right? Where they hacked themselves in and they added the punk to the database, but then somehow it didn't work. It went sideways. But I mean, I didn't quite catch it immediately because I thought it was like a two-step thing where they managed to pull off the stealing, but then because he fell, he broke the case, so it set off an alarm anyway. But I guess it's confirmation now that someone else hacked in and removed their hack. And get this, detective, that new mystery user, they opened 3 exhibits tonight, none of which were for the diamond. Oh my, can you derive any information identifying from their credential? The username is just a jumbled mess of characters. Maybe we could decode it, but I have a feeling that would get us far. I'd say we're working against someone who has this whole plot perfectly planned. You're right, it won't be that simple. If you say so. As always, I'll be here if you need me, detective. Like a felled fish on a string. Every time I get close, it gets yanked away. Such a cat experience, you know. People yank things away from you all the time for their own amusement. She's now settled. So maybe she will stay. Maybe she will stay. There we go. Thought they were university students, but after seeing that username, it became clear they were middle school and early high school. I mean, you know, back in the day, I'm sure some university students also had those sort of names. Okay, so now we had something to check out with the student's testimony, except my thing wasn't moving. Yeah, he entered the museum, found his admission was paid in advance, then began touring the natural history exhibit. Wait, are we saying the student unhacked the name? Like, he was like, I can't do this. I have to stop my friend from actually committing the crime? So that's based on the evidence from the alarm logs? That makes sense, of course. I know the student intended to meet with the punk, but it wasn't just for a nice stroll through the exhibits. They made to make sure the hacked security system would let the punk open the glass case and allow the student to take the diamond. Okay, I mean, we kinda knew this already, right? We knew that it was the two of them hacking into the system. But then who unhacked it? So we have... I discussed with the creator as well, but they aren't very fast either. But he but knew it had the complex decision-making skills and could recognize registered user. Okay, so that's the alarm system. After decrypting them, I found that the security system was stripped because it didn't recognize the punk opening the case. His ID was replaced by someone. The security system does log every interaction it witnesses, and then this database logs. I'm one step closer to cracking this case. Then, when the glass case was destroyed by the falling statue, it was put into high alert. Okay, so it was kind of two-step, right? First thing, it tripped the alarm, but that wasn't yet, like, sound the alarm out loud. It was only breaking of the case that really sent it. But it means we get nothing more right now from the logs, right? It's like, we know someone else hacked in, but we don't know who they are. Was it the tourist? Is he actually part of the mob? I mean, we know he's part of the mob, but, you know, is he actually here on behalf of someone doing shady dealings? He was here to make sure it went down as they planned. About this ID card. You wouldn't happen to recognize anything about it, would you? I do. Not that I could tell you much. I've seen the logo before, at least. Overly designed, if you ask me, especially for that low-tier biker club. Biker club? What do you mean? Ah, I'm sure you're familiar with the concept, detective. There's just a bunch of names for him. Although, I don't know what these folks get into specifically. Could be anything from just tuning their bikes and going on rides to slinging high-grade oil, if you catch my meaning. Or anything in between. I'd have to assume that that's a bite bigger than you could chew in one night, detective. Especially since you've already got your paws full here. Laughs deeply. I do, don't I? Well, in pursuit of resolving this mess, I've got some more inquiries to make. Rightio, except nothing more to say to you. Okay, well, he just confirms that the punk was in some sort of biker club, which the punk has already freely admitted to. About the logs. They confirm you were registered with the museum security system. So, how did you do it? The student did. I told you had the skills necessary, didn't I? He's a wizard with the computer. I don't understand what he did. Something with a backdoor and bad encryption. He found a way to remote in and made easy work of it. The two of you have created quite a rap sheet tonight. You know that, don't you? It was always a race, detective. Just didn't pan out this time. If someone who's a member of the mob reveals that they're a mobster, they are not a mobster member or they are disposable pawn. I mean, yes, you would think it would be the low-ranking people that are like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm in the mob, so cool. Besides, we always said we'd either get rich together or we go down together. Just had hopes it'd be the former. I mean, I'm not in the mob, so I don't know what the culture is. I don't know, you know, the etiquette of being in the mob. I've heard that one before, sadly. There are some other inquiries I'd like to make, but... Oh, there are. Okay, we have more personal questions this time. Because I was about to be like, there never are any more questions, but apparently we can talk more about the student. What about him? We're close, so what? You mentioned he could handle the security system. What did you mean by that? Apparently, it's infamous for having some fatal flaws. Something about networks and encryption. It's sold as state-of-the-art, but it will pause. Still, there was no way I could have dealt with it myself. And he's trying to make a decent living with all the computer stuff. Figured it was worth a shot. You're not in the mob? That's the kind of thing that someone in the mob would say. Of course. Of course. I'm innocent! I swear! Still, there was no way I could have dealt with it myself, so he's trying to make a decent living, and with the computer stuff, I figured it was worth a shot. So you ask him to tamper with the alarm or of a prestigious institution, and he's immediately on board? We've been inseparable since we were kids. A few years ago, he found out what I was up to on the side, and didn't immediately disown me. Honestly, I was against it at first, because I didn't want him getting involved in this type of work, but he was adamant he could get it done. Besides, he wouldn't have let me pay off all those loans he got unless he earned his cut. I knew that for sure. And did your client know anything about the student hacking the security system? Never said they did, but as long as we got the job done, who cares? For what I can tell, I think they did, but I have more inquiries to make before I can be sure. Another interesting fact, the dinosaur skeleton in the background is incomplete. Its lower ribcage bone is missing. Oh, spotting details. No use holding back, detective. Okay, there is more. About this painting. I found it alongside the diamond, but the student didn't know why. Was it part of the plan you were aware of? Whoa, no way! We were told to come in and get the jewel, detective. Didn't hear anything about a painting. And this client of yours, did they inform you of their intention with the gemstone? No, really, and I didn't ask. But do you really have to? It's pretty obvious. Setting up for a big payday, don't you think? That's what I assumed, but you can't ever be too sure. I have another topic to discuss. We don't. I mean, again, not a museum expert. Like, my streams and videos are all about the things I'm not. But from what I understand, like, when you go to a museum and they have, like, a whole dinosaur skeleton, not all of the bones are real, right? I don't think there are a lot, or maybe even any, skeletons that are actually fully complete. So a lot of them are like, yeah, we had some bones and then we like made casts of the other bones and added it so it looks good. But yeah, I'm not sure I've seen one where it's like every single thing is actually the full skeleton. Like the Natural History Museum in London, they've got quite a lot of dinosaur bits and pieces. But yes, usually they're like bits and pieces, and then they have like, and here's a reconstruction of what the whole thing would be like. So they have a few things that they look complete, but I am not sure any of them truly are. It's still cool though. It's still cool to see the dinosaurs. And you can go to the museum at night and hang out with them too, for like events and stuff. Okay, so the old-timers got something. About this medication. Okay, so suddenly the medication we found on the punk became relevant. Do you know anything about it? Not for any particular reason, such as your advanced stage. Yeah, we're just saying, you know what? There's an old guy here in the museum. Let's just ask him about random medication, you know. I'm sure he takes a lot of those things and he has plenty knowledge about random pills. You weren't supposed to say that last part out loud, detective. Ha. Let me take a look. Yeah, I think so. Might have been one of those drugs my doctor recommended. What did they prescribe it for? Do you remember? They didn't prescribe it, first of all. I don't need to depend on a bunch of pills. Certainly don't want to keep track of them all. Sure, but what they attempt to prescribe it for? Blood pressure, I think. Doctor mentioned something about anxiety, but I was already turned out. You don't say. Well, thanks. There's more I'd like to get from you before I go, except there isn't. Yeah, old people are just all clued in on every single medication you could possibly have. Because they're old, right? Okay. Yes, we just suddenly have random things to ask people about things we've had on us for like a while. The artist, he got nothing new. He's just standing here in the corner, being invisible to everyone. Okay, we've got some new notes about our evidence. This is all inspected. Yeah, strange username, medication typically prescribed for blood pressure and sometimes anxiety. But does the punk have anxiety? I know we know he has like heart problems. So I mean that could align with blood pressure medication. But he's got nothing to say about it. Tonight, two heists took place. The punk understood and attempted to steal the diamond, while someone was busy swapping a few exhibits with forgeries. Is it possible those events are unrelated? To think my detective sense has led me down a superfluous road is disheartening, to say at the least. I can fill in the gaps, right? I have more red check. So there are a few that have like the gray cross thing, which means you can't examine them at all. Whether it's relevant to the point or not, it's worth noting that the mechanic was the father of the artist. Yes, we knew that already. And something new was added to the testimonies here, but I don't think it's particularly highlighted what was added, so I assume just stuff about where they were. Yeah, so we have like the thick red is we've inspected that, but then we sometimes get this inspections performed that just means you can't do inspections, right? It's just crossed out, unavailable. So as far as I know, right now we're good on evidence. So what else is there supposed to be happening? Because it's not yet like highlighting the filling in as if that's the final piece. And especially that we're still waiting for the fingerprints from the cop, so it means we still have to trigger something to get that to happen. Huh. The way... Okay, hear me out. The way this sentence is structured, it was the something of the something who was something. The way that fits, just, you know, we would be feeling. It could be, it was the son of the mechanic, the artist who was stealing, even though right now we had absolutely no information to say that is the sentence. Because what indication did we have that the artist has been stealing? Right? Do we have because we have a son. We have a son as a thing. Like, it was the son of the mechanic. Did they, like, not get paid the pension or something? And they're like, I'm gonna rob the museum because you didn't pay. But do we have, like, stealing? Or he was making the counterfeit art or something? What actions do we have? Forgot, fought, hacked, hid, hired. Met, opened. They had met. Opened. Paid, replaced, retreat, revealed, shot, stop, stole. I'm thinking like who was hired to do the counterfeit stuff. Okay, that goes with this next sentence, so we can't even confirm whether my hunch here is correct. They had something before. Oh, you mean they had met before? Yeah, just from like... But then what is this here? What's here? There's something they had met before. Someone forgot? There's someone forgot they had met before? The curator forgot it? Yes. Okay, so the curator hires the artist to do the forging, but he doesn't actually even remember that they're the son of the mechanic. So I solved this just looking at the sentences, right? But where are we getting this information from? Like, what am I missing? Like, I've read the dialogues, and as far as I know, I've had no dialogue that at any point alluded in any way to the artist doing the forgeries, other than they're the artists and they paint. 2 episodes back. Because yeah, I mean, we know they paint, and I guess they're wearing a big coat. They could hide things under the coat. Yes, I mean, yes, if we look at it like that, sure, the artist is the only one with the skills to do the forgeries, but, you know, artists can go to a museum not because they're trying to forge paintings. As I see Firefly has disappeared again. She's just all over the place today. Because I think we asked them what do they do, and they didn't answer, I forge paintings for a living, right? Yes, I'm contracted by an entity that fulfills the temporary work requirements of various companies or organizations. Most of the tasks they put me are less than ideal, but they don't last too long, and they make me sure my needs are met. It affords me a bit of free time to continue creating, for whatever that's worth. Personal gratification, at least. Right. You said that's what brought you to the museum, I remember now. On to the next question, then. Yeah, so... He basically, it just sounded like, you know, he has to do temp jobs because art doesn't pay. Yeah, so the frog told us about the mechanic, yes. Like they said they were his dad. That's the forgetting part, sure. Yes, I mean... Yes, if we're saying we're just supposed to go on the assumptions that I've made, right? That I've made, that, oh yes, you know, the son of a mechanic is an artist, so, and the curator is doing the forgeries, or at least it's wanting to do the forgeries, so it's like, yeah, sure, that works. I'm just seeing it like, I can fill in the sentences by looking at them, but I'm not feeling like I'm filling them based on I've received this information. But maybe I'm just yeah, forgetting about something that someone said 2 episodes ago. In turn, the something became the something of the something. So the something would be something when he the something. Yes, it's not feeling like I'm solving, it's feeling like I'm basically sitting a test where they give you, you know, like when you take an English test, a language test, and they give you a sentence and they say, fill in with the matching words, right? Out of context, and you just go, oh yeah, that word makes sense. So I'm not sure what I'm missing about this game. Okay, so this must be talking about something with the artist then, right? If the previous sentence is the artist was hired because the curator forgot that they know that he knew the father or whatever. In turn, like the artist became something. In turn, the artist became the something of the something. What did he become? Maybe it's not the artist, but it just feels like it fits with the previous paragraph. We don't have the word for forger as far as I know. So that we can't make that sentence. And like, we still have to fix this side. To have their debt, but the investor paid. Maybe it's something else here. Like struck, you can strike a debt. Probably not. Probably just that would be a weird way to express it. Although that didn't make it any worse. So that's interesting. The curator planned to have some artwork replaced with the counterfeit and then stashed. Stole. I mean, stole grammatically makes no sense because it would have been stolen. But it's like, it doesn't get any worse when I replace those words. So they replace those words. So it's like, what's going on here? Like, what word is wrong? Is this not the curator? Is someone else doing it? But then it says curator forgot they met. Yeah, we are not replacing the right words, which means there is potentially a single word wrong. And I'm just not replacing that one. So I'm trying to think what is the wrong word? Like, is it not the debt to the investor? Are they indebted to like someone else? I mean, we know they're indebted to the investor, but could they have more debts, right? Could they be paying debts to more people? Or something like that. Like, did they owe mechanics some money? Although that feels like small, like that would be a much smaller debt than what they owe to the investor, so that would be silly. Some artwork, somewhat. Plant. Because like I was thinking, oh, planted maybe would have been something. Contract. Instead of debt, like have their contract to the investor paid. Nope. I mean, again, it didn't make it worse. It didn't make it better. So it's weird. I mean, we know from last time that alternative solutions, like they accept alternative words. So that all might just be like, we're replacing it with words that also work and we're not getting into the heart of what is wrong here. Right, what is wrong? Really, really, really wrong. Like, are the people wrong? Is someone else doing it, not the curator? Like, is the guard or the guide trying to, you know, save the museum, so it's not the curator doing it? Okay, that made it worse. So that means the curator is the correct word. Yeah, sold was my first instinct, right? Sold was my first instinct. But we don't have the word, and like, there's no one else to talk to. No one is giving us any words. Stopped. Let's just stop the artwork. And then paid. I mean, really, yes, that's not making it worse. And then replaced. Replaced with counterfeit art and then replaced. Yeah, it's just like, what is going on here? Okay, the next one, they were in order. The statue from the natural history balcony, the painting from the courtyard, the artifact, and the fine art painting in the air duct with Jamestone. Like, this all made sense to me, right? It all made sense to me in terms of those are the objects that are involved, but the order is incorrect somehow. Then argued, yes. They're just gonna argue about it. The painting from the balcony. Because, I mean, it's in the courtyard and it's in the balcony. Oh no, because we already tried to change it and it gets worse. So we know this is correct. Okay, so we are missing sold as a word. I am not crazy. We are missing a word. Okay, that's at least something. That at least helps us to know that we need to look for more. It's just a question of where is that hiding, right? Because we're back to no one's got anything to say to us again. And we've inspected all of the evidence. We inspected all the places. Like, there's nothing new here. Like, has the cop inspected things for fingerprints yet? How long does it take to, you know, just run a couple paintings through the fingerprint scanner? They're just slacking in the police station. No more vents to open. No. This game. It's quite a weird one, I have to say. Like, the game overall. Okay, so we can ask about the forgeries now. I found a few alongside some authentic pieces as well. I was wondering if the department has any equipment for analysis. I'm sure the process is lengthy and complicated, but if it's possible to lift some paw prints, we might be able to deduce some important information. Okay, didn't I ask you about it already? Because I thought I called about it. We could even compare them to those registered in the alarm system logs. That could really triangulate this puppet master. Officer, are you there? Okay, he is here again with his car. Got stuck in traffic on that trip, detective. Thanks for being patient. It's strange that this museum isn't dead, especially since almost all the works they display are amongst the world's most famous. Yeah, it's weird, like, what's the system here? I mean, I know a bunch of things that museums do, right, is like they don't actually own the art. Like, it's from someone's collection. Like, obviously some of the artwork they have is artwork that they have, like they own it, but then they also display art that are from private collection of this person and they just allow it to be displayed and stuff like that. And then they have like patrons that give money and whoever else. So it's somehow a private museum, so they need funding. They have extremely valuable artworks, and yet, you know, people are not just crowding in the place. Like, to see the Mona Lisa, usually there is a crowd, right? And here it just hangs in a random courtyard and no one comes to see it. Yeah, they got stuck in traffic. Well, as I was saying, and you weren't hearing apparently, I imagine this process is going to be arduous. Arduous? No way! I've got the mobile analyzer with me right here in the cruiser. Technology's come a long way since you were in school, detective. Don't you know that? Let's get the baseline first, something we can use as incriminating reference. Luckily, with all the art pieces I've collected, we've got several to compare. Did we get photo file yesterday? The one from the camera, yes we did. It was basically proof that the student was involved. So we're way past that. Alright. Button, slider, switch. Now, scan this here, wait a couple seconds, and done! We're in business, detective. I've got a couple prints identified across these items, and a few sets of them appear on each. Question is, what other evidence should I use for comparison? It is something touched by the same suspect as all this artwork. Okay, so we have Punk's belongings, which would have been touched by the Punk and the podcaster. The gun, which was touched by the Punk and the old-timer. The tourist film, touched by the tourist and the podcaster again. Backroom keys, touched by the artist, and someone else. The diamond. I mean, can we just try them all, I assume? So let's just go Punk's belongings. There's a couple items here, some medication, a receipt, and a business card. They belong to the Punk. But that podcaster took them after he fell. I'll keep out the machine again and see if it finds a match. Was crossed, detective. He didn't find anything. I guess that writes off the petty thief podcaster at least. Is there anything else you want to try instead? Remember, it should be something that would have been touched by the same suspect as all this artwork. Let's try the keys, because the artist touched the keys. So was artist also replacing the art after doing the forgeries? The artist gave this to me when I needed a way into the maintenance room. He claimed they were the guards. I'll keep out the machine again and see if it finds a match. Pause crossed. Oh, the analyzer found a match. 2 matches actually. The authentic pieces have a set of prints that match the keys, but they aren't on the forgeries. The second set of prints is on everything. That's your culprit. Unfortunately, there's no way to know which prints belong to who. Let's think. The guard isn't involved with the museum artistics business, and the curator's alibi is fully corroborated. That would mean the keys really don't belong to him. They belong to the guide who misplaced her set a week ago. I mean, we knew that already, right? We knew that about the keys, but that means she who has been playing innocent, who has been helping us to identify the forgeries, is actually involved? Wait a minute, detective. Didn't you say the artist had them? How's that possible? That's my question. Hate to analyze and run, but I have a case to close. For real this time. Okay, well, they're working together. Yeah, their bunny rabbit is in on it. She's like, oh, I was so shocked. I'm so innocent. Just too scared of everything. Don't let me stop you. As if I could. Honk. Let's do this. One last time. Okay, so we've got some inconsistencies for the artist. He was counting the bones of the various skeletons from the balcony of the Natural History Museum, except he was touching the art. No, I don't think that's right. Something else happened on that balcony. What have I found that could point me towards the truth? Well, I found the stuff in the vent. So I tried not the statue pieces. So if it's not the forged artwork, is it... The frog saw it drop and picked it up, not to give it back. I mean, it's that the keys were truly dropped, or is that the keys were given to them so they had access, right? So they could access the stuff and replace the artwork. Artists look so dumb and cute. Yes, he's just a cute froggy. Invisible to them. So what disproves it? Right, because I was like, oh yeah, the fingerprints on the forged artwork say that actually they've been going around and touching the artwork, but game says no. Game says that's not what happened. Were they touching the statue? Ah, I see. That makes sense. He did come across as a bit odd, but counting dinosaur bones was a bit of a leap. Now that I know he swapped the statue on the balcony, the rest of his story is likely to fall apart. Okay, so he was doing that while this whole fight was going down. And then we have when an argument started in the fine art gallery, he decided to head downstairs away from the noise. But again, is it the forged artwork that he's been replacing in the meantime? Ah, I see. That makes sense. While the argument may have already begun in the fine art gallery, he still had to finish what he started. It was only after he got that counterfeit painting framed and hung that he could make his way downstairs. He was framing it on the spot? Framing, as far as I know, framing like canvases is an involved process. People would notice. And like, you know, it's large. I was expecting them to be doing this like at night when no one's there, not in the middle of, you know, visitor hours. Well, well, well. So what does he have to say about this? Yeah, he took the frame into the museum and nobody questioned it either. Yes, that's very strange. I was totally expecting it to be, you know, they were doing it at night when the museum is closed. They were sneaking in, replacing the artwork and stuff like that. He's that invisible, no one can see him running around with frames. Okay, additional details about the case. You see, there's just a couple threads left, and it's proving quite difficult to tie them together. That was until I started to notice a subtle connecting string. Oh, please, enlighten me, detective. I'm very interested to hear your theories. I'll begin with the obvious. Someone here tonight attempted to steal the Optimus Diamond. A task that would require a sufficient distraction, but little did they know the museum was equipped with a state-of-the-art security system. This would have thwarted their plan unless they were warned ahead of time, perhaps even prepared. Obvious indeed, but your interpretation is very astute, detective. That's just the beginning. In actuality, the gemstone wasn't the only target, but considering its value, why would they need anything else? Unless the diamond heist was a misdirection, so that someone else could swap various art pieces with forged copies. Are you saying the fight was a cover-up for the diamond heist, but the diamond heist was a cover-up for the art heist? How many misdirections do you need? But that begs the question, why wasn't the diamond replaced with a counterfeit? Aside from the fact it's highly unlikely it could be reproduced, it's more likely to assume the diamond wasn't a misdirection, but a distraction. I believe the jewel thief wasn't even aware of the other's presence, a textbook example of a framed criminal. I would be lying if I said I wasn't enamored with your line of thinking, but I sense you've hit a roadblock. Oh, I did. That connecting string I mentioned, the second thief. Then suddenly everything clicked into place. Everything. Even more threads than I originally realized. the former staff, the contract, the keys, the notes. Any half-rate detective wouldn't have seen the puzzle through the pieces. So please, since you've so carefully laid them out for me, consider this opportunity to confess. Yes, it was me. I'm the so-called second thief detective. I knew I could count on you to figure it out. I'll give you a moment to reflect on that, and then I'll freely answer any questions you have. Good. Now, let's get into the details. Whatever it takes, detective. I like that they all just confess, right? As soon as we approach them about it, they just go, oh yeah, you got me. So, what really happened before? I need to fix my chair. Excuse me. My chair is a mess. So I'm like just sliding off it slowly and slowly, just trying to grip myself to the edge. Reminds me of Blake Manor. Nobody tries to hide their secrets once you figure them out. Yes, it's like, as soon as you know it, they're like, oh yeah, let me just fill you in on all the details. As you wish. About the curator. Did the scheme of yours have anything to do with them? It had everything to do with them, detective. In fact, only half of it was mine. The other half was theirs. Okay, so I was correct suspecting the curator was in on it. They hired me to carry it out, and they never realized who I was. Okay, here's where we're getting the information. What do you mean? Why would they hire someone to steal their own exhibits? You've heard about this investor, haven't you? The curator signed with them a few years ago, and it's dug them into quite the hole. Of course, I've never heard the true motivation on the matter, but how else were they going to pay off those enormous debts? And if all their precious exhibits were relinquished as collateral, what's the point in saving an empty museum? So they replace only a few with counterfeits and hope they sell enough to cover the sunken investments. There we go, the word for sell. Now you understand, detective. It's vile, twisted, and the absolute betrayal of everyone who ever cared about this place. I can see your point. But I have a feeling there's more to discuss on this. Whatever it takes, detective. More about the events. More before? Yes, about the punk. How did he get mixed up in all of this? When I caught wind of the curator's schemes, I formulated my own plan, but required assistance. I would need to hire a thief of my own, one who wouldn't know an impossible job, even if it yanked their tail. So what? You're going to carry out the curator's heist and have someone else ruin it? I had no other choice. It would have been more difficult and less successful if I had thrown the job myself. Okay, so they're basically doing it because their father, right? He worked here and he really loved the museum. So it just happened that they approached the artist, who's also the son, for this counterfeit job, and he's like, I can't let them do this, right? This is them going along with it, but actually trying to expose them, because he's like, I will not allow displays that my father held so deeply in his heart to be destroyed like this. And the student, an interesting surprise actually. I only hired the punk, but apparently they were a package deal. They might have gotten away with it, hacking their way into the alarm system. But I made sure those two hooligans would absolutely unravel under pressure. Okay, so he then unhacked their hack, because if they were successful with the hack, then the heist would have gone off with no hitch. And they wanted the whole thing to hitch. You did your part too, detective. I can't thank you enough for that. What was my part exactly? Someone had to make sense of all of this mess, follow the breadcrumbs all the way to the deep-seated injustices within. You really are as good as they say, you know that? I'm not sure how to take that, but I think there might be a few details left to discuss before I close this case. Whatever it takes, detective. Okay, we've got during. What really happened? I found all the art pieces you swapped, but I assume you were up to more than that. Besides the few small ways I could tip the scales, the plan was largely operating on its own accord. There's no sense in being secretive now, so what did you do? Well, when the guard came through the courtyard, I didn't intend to get in his way. But he really didn't see me, and I didn't make an effort to move. Of course, it was plausible he would have dropped his keys then. Some would say it could have appeared that way. But those keys I gave you, most of them were random scraps in fact. The only one that mattered actually belonged to the guide. Right, I came to that conclusion as well. What else did you have a hand in tonight? Did I mention I saw the students with the gemstone? In the foyer, actually. Just after he realized the doors had been locked down. According to plan, I would have not known the student was involved, but from the balcony I noticed him and the punk setting up to steal the diamond. You really were quite the orchestrator in all of this, huh? It seems like there's always another question for you to answer. Whatever it takes, detective. Okay, but that's actually everything. Okay, they gave us the explanation, right? They gave us the explanation for this stuff here that I've already filled in correctly by just making a massive leap into sentences, and then we can replace this with sold, finally. But then it's still not correct, because this, maybe it should be debt in the end rather than contract. There we go. To have their debt to the investor paid. The curator planned to have some artwork replaced with a counterfeit, and they're sold. Okay. But I still don't have this. I still don't have this. And then this, I guess, is describing the whole multi-layered plan. In turn, the someone became the something of the something. Okay, so the artist became the client of the punk, I think. So so the gemstone would be stolen. But we don't have stolen, right? We have stole. So the alarm would be tripped. Maybe. When he, like, replaced the artwork. When he replaced the artwork. Making mess of this. Okay. Almost. It is yellow. So, what's wrong here? Because, like, to me it makes sense, right? The artist hires the punk, so he becomes the client. So the alarm would be tripped when he replaced the artwork in order to basically execute his plan of revealing the plan. That would ultimately cause the... Well, curator, again, is gonna be weird grammar because it should be curator's plan to be... revealed by the detective? Okay, not quite. The artist's plan? Or like, is this not a person? Is it a... like the counterfeit plan or something, you know, because it feels like if it's a person, we're missing, yeah, an apostrophe. This would ultimately cause the counterfeit plan to be revealed by the detective. Okay. We've got that bit. Now we just need to fix those two. In terms of some word is wrong. So the alarm would be tripped when he what? We have framed as well. We've got framed. But like, well, he was framing the artwork, but apparently that didn't make it any worse. But we could have gone from 1 wrong to 2 wrong. What else could be here? The alarm would be alarmed. Replaced. So the do we have like the plan would be revealed or something? We don't have plan or anything like that. I mean, replaced sounds better than framed, to be honest, here. Alarm would be tripped. What else could have... Because it also caused the doors to be locked, but... You know, was that like... That doesn't really feel like that was part of the artist's plan to have the whole museum go on lockdown, right? He just wanted the... police to be alerted. Yeah, if we replace alarm, then it goes wrong. So the alarm is right, and therefore tripped must be right. The student helped hack the system. I mean, they did, but I'm not, because it's, in turn, the artist became the client of the punk, right? So, or, okay, we're saying, because the artist didn't know about the student, right? He didn't know a student would help with this. He was actually expecting the punk to have a go at it by himself and fail immediately, right? The artist didn't expect the hacking at all. But it may be referring to, so the alarm will be tripped when he stole the gemstone instead, rather than replace the paintings. Like, we're talking about what the punk is doing rather than what the artist is doing. So when he stole the gemstone. There we go. There we go. That's correct. Okay, so what's wrong here? What is going on here? They were in order. The statue from the natural history balcony, the painting from the courtyard, the artifact, and the fine art painting in the air duct with the gemstone. Is it not fine art, that painting? Right? Am I tripping? Which exhibit was it in? I mean, it's on the upper floor, the dog painting, right? We go here. And the dog is here. In the fine art exhibit. So it feels like it's a fine art painting. Even though... I'm like, is it fine art? Is it modern art? Is it some sort of other art? What passes for fine art? Crystal, are you here? Can you give your judgment on whether that this painting is fine art. It's a drawing. Yeah. Let's start a whole debate about, you know, what's real art. Is our paintings of weird cartoony dogs fine art or not? Sure, that will get some people riled up. Maybe it's talking about where it went instead of the exhibit. Okay, I assume this has been updated based on our discussion. And based on discussion with the artist, right? He was swapping the authentic statue. Okay, maybe this will give us the order then. Prior to the incident, he was swapping the authentic statue with its replica and stashing it within the nearby air duct on the balcony of the natural history exhibit. Okay, so that's the first thing that happens. As he completed the swap, he confirmed the punk and the student were enacting their portion of the heist in the natural history exhibit's lower level. He was swapping the painting on the courtyard balcony when the argument started in the fine art gallery, right? So that's what we have. He was swapping the statue in the natural history exhibit. Should I have exhibit here, not balcony? Okay. Either seems to be not changing this, but let's go with the wording the game uses. Then the next one. He was swapping the painting on the courtyard balcony when an argument started in the fine art gallery. Unable to continue swapping the art pieces, he went to the courtyard's lower level. The guard then tripped over him while moving towards the fight above. He then continued to the empty foyer in an attempt to leave the now dangerous premises, but found the front door was already on lockdown. The student ran to the sculpture exhibit just as the tourist rushed in. He informed him the door was already on lockdown, they were stuck inside. With the alarm blaring and the museum on lockdown, the curator returned to the foyer to call the authorities and told him to stand by until they arrived. Okay, so he doesn't even talk about when he put the other stuff into the vent. So, statue from the natural history exhibit. Painting from the courtyard. So maybe this is something else. Like, is this some other sentence structure? Why they call it front door? It's the only door to open inside. I mean, front door is a common... It's a commentary just for the main door. Like, even if you don't have a back door, you can still call it your front door, as far as I know. Yeah, I mean, I think we tried balcony here. Right, and it says it's worse instead of the courtyard. Yeah, because then it goes red, so it specifically wants us to say it's the courtyard instead of the balcony. So, like, is this somehow wrong? Because the artifact and the dog painting, right? They were not replaced, so... Is this supposed to be some other sentence? But considering all the des, it has to be like objects or people in those spaces. Like everything is there. So it's not verbs in most of those slots. So, but it might be like... Because this sentence starts with they were in order, right? So I would expect that it wants me to list the artwork that was to be replaced, right? Because I was starting to think like, then it talks about the artist hiding in the whatever. The painting stashed. Maybe this. The painting stashed in the air duct with the gemstone. So instead of like fine art painting, we change it to a verb. There we go. There we go. Aha. I knew I was onto something. When I received the call for this one, I never would have expected how deep it could go. I have all the major points covered now, but some of the suspects might have more to say about it. Maybe I should be open to interpreting this as a more than face value, but technically I have enough information for a final verdict. I should be careful though, there's no going back once I make a decision. Okay, so now we have the 6th page. The following suspects are hereby considered under arrest of law at the jurisdiction of the Feline Forensics Private Detective Agency as substantiated by probable cause. This order is valid upon less than or equal to 6 suspects by judgment of the detective and is not subject to alteration following submission. Okay, so we're not gonna just freeform fill a page like we've talked about previously. No, we have to fill in who is getting arrested, right? Who is getting arrested for those crimes that they've committed or, you know, didn't. So, vote for your favorite criminal. Because I guess we get the choice here, right? We get the moral choice of we can let any of the people go, right? We can say, you know, the poor punk and the poor student, they were just trying to, you know, save the poor punk's life because he needed money for surgery. And really, you know, can we blame them in the for-profit healthcare system for trying to do that? And then the artist, you know, he was doing the forgeries, but really he was doing the forgeries and trying to reveal what was truly happening. So really, it's the curator and the investor that caused all of this, right? They're the ones to blame. Yeah, he was the master, like the curator was the mastermind in terms of he is the one running the museum, he's the one that signed with the investor, and he's the one that basically put all of this into place, right? He wanted to steal, I mean, actually steal, no quotations, he wanted to steal the artworks. He wanted to steal them, replace them with forgeries, and get money for them. Everyone else was just like pawns in his game. So he definitely did it. He's going in there. Now, the investor is shady, but as much as he's shady in the sense of like, you know, he put this museum into financial difficulty because whatever they do is not great. I don't think they were actually involved in, you know, planning this crime, right? They didn't actually go like, you know what, how about you just steal some artworks from your museum and get that money to pay me, right? So they're shady, but they didn't do it. Now, the guide, right? The guide, as innocent as she may appear, it seems like she was involved, at least in giving the artist keys and access so that they could then replace the artworks. So she knew it was happening, right? She wasn't all innocent and didn't know anything about it. Even though we didn't really like super question her. I mean, I guess we can question her. Because we're still allowed to walk around. Although she doesn't have a new dialogue. The investor's predatory practices were pretty much inevitably going to lead to tragedy, but it's legal, so whoever wrote the laws should be added to the list before corruption and incompetence. Yes, it's definitely that. It's definitely that the system is sick, and then there are people who exploit others by using the system, right? And then it's legally right, but morally wrong. Okay, we can't, like, question her anymore. There's nothing more to say to her to be like, oh yeah, I knew you were involved in at least providing access to people. Okay, we can have words with the curator, though. About today's events. So, about the case. What about it? You've been at this for some time, and you're only testing my patience. I apologize it's taken this long, but I'm quite a curious cat, you see. Not to say that you weren't helpful, but it seems you've kept certain details to yourself. In all honesty, if you had been more forthcoming, I may have not discovered what I did. Oh, just spit it out, will you? Enough with the theatrics! You plan to have some of the museum's exhibits fenced, did you not? The museum has been struggling for years and needed to pay off those debts. You think I wanted to sell my collection? To what? Some dingy back alley black market? How dare you assume so lowly of me, detective? Did I make some poor decision in the past? Yes, of course I did. But I wouldn't ever stoop so low. And by poor decision, you mean signing a contract with Fennec Financial? And the fallout afterwards. It was my fault. I would have always admitted that. I let down my family, my staff, but my art, it was the last thing I truly had. If I had to watch that investor waltz through here, picking out pieces to decorate his office bathroom, then the final shred of my soul would have died. Maybe it means nothing in the end, but I was planning to have them sold to collectors, critics, other artists, historians, true appreciators of the craft. That's all I meant to do. And now it's all been ruined. I told you the museum hinged on this, and now it will all be his. So finish writing whatever you must in that notebook of yours, and take me away before I witness it. I'm sorry, but I will be considering this a confession. I may ask another clarifying question, but this case is all but closed. I would expect nothing less. Yeah, so they confess. So they're basically saying, like, the investor was about to move in and start seizing assets, right, out of the museum. I can't believe the podcaster is innocent, right? I can't believe there was nothing she's done to, like, make the case. I mean, she, like, took the guy's stuff and whatever, but nothing she's done to, like, spice it up, you know, make it so she had more for her podcast. Tampering with evidence is a crime. I mean, considering everything that has happened, seems minor, though. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely better ways to do things rather than hiding your assets, right? And being like, I'm not gonna let them take my precious art from me. But again, like, why are they not making any money? It's just so weird. Those guys have nothing more to say, so... Yes, the curator is definitely going to jail. That's for sure. I guess the guide was also involved. Like, she at least knew. She at least knew what was going on. She was giving access to the thing, even if she was doing it for the right reason. Even if she was doing it for, like, we're going to save the museum. But yes, if we wanna be true detective, right? Then we're putting everyone involved in. So the curator, the guide, the artist, the punk, and the student. They're all going, right? Then the podcaster. I guess only for the minor crimes of obstructing and interfering. Well, no longer interfering with a corpse, just obstructing the investigation and I guess pickpocketing a person that's passed out on the floor. And I have to sign here as detective. Could I sign as someone else? just you know, sign as my mother. My mother wrote this report. Pay attention to the numbers and arrange them in order of guilt. I mean, I would say this is kind of in the order of guilt, right? The curator is the most guilty. The guide also kind of guilty in there because she knew about the plan and she went along with it. Artist guilty. Again, they got put into the plan after, but they still participated. And then the punk and student, they were rolled in after into the thing, and they were just trying to, you know, get some money for the punk's heart surgery. And then the podcaster, all they did was petty crime. So, you know, it's fine. Okay. Let's sign this. I'm not sure whether the game has, like, the right answer, right? I mean, it probably does. It probably does have answers that are more correct than others, right? Because obviously if we said the tourist did it just because he was in the mob, I don't think he's actually involved in any of the crime. But, like, you know, whether it's okay to say, actually, I don't want to arrest the punk and the student because I want to let them off because I feel bad for them. Like, will the game accept this? Okay, we have to hold, so it's, you know, we truly make sure it's final. The detective. Oh, little kitty face in our signature. No, I don't think that's right. I should reconsider my verdict before calling this in and closing these. Okay. I presume, therefore... Oh, interesting. So they don't accept the guide. They don't accept the guide was involved, even though it was her key? Fine then. So can we, like, replace her with the investor? In that case? No, I don't think that's right. Okay. Okay, I guess we can't. I guess we just can't do that. Fine. I guess it's only those 5 people. It's quite uncommon that a mystery like this unravels into such a strange game of criminal telephone. The curator hires the artist, who hires the punk, who brings on the student, and each had a critical role in what occurred tonight. Even seemingly insignificant acts such as petty theft or crimes in tampering are inexcusable in the case this complex. It's been quite the evening, but it's time to call this in and finally close the case. Can we accuse ourselves? I'm not sure, like the game, it seems pretty strict with just saying, oh no, I mean we could try accuse ourselves, right? It's just the game will probably say, no, I didn't do it. So the game does not let you famously arrest people and presumably would force you to arrest everyone. Yeah, potentially. Not sure if they have alternative endings there, if you wanted to let people off. So this is them, detective, the culprits behind our museum mystery. Afraid so? Any last words before the officer here takes you away? Oh, then there's solid the moment for you. In my heart, I know I had my reasons. And moreover, I know you will never be half the criminal of these fools. I will never be half the criminal of these fools. Big talk for someone who's headed the same doghouse as us, And you speak as if you have not simply fallen to the ploy of puppeteers. Yeah, what's that supposed to mean? Don't give us some holier-than-thou now. Oh, would you just do us all a favor and quit your bickering? Oh man, this is gonna make for some amazing subscriber-only content! So that's it, detective. Case closed. Yeah, as it turns out, there's only one thing you can't keep in a museum. And that's... the truth. Okay. And that's it. That's the game. We've finished it. We've done it. Now, I have to say, and I hate to be saying it, but I think of all of the kind of detective fill in the gaps games that we have played here, I think that's the weakest one, right? Like, it had some interesting bits. It had some interesting bits in terms of the setting and, like, putting the layers into the story and, like, some of the mechanics. Okay, they get to reopen the museum still without the curator. Somehow the investor didn't take away all of the art. Like, it had some interesting bits with the whole thing where, you know, we would gather people testimonies, and then when things weren't aligning, we would say, okay, this is not aligning because of that thing, of that evidence, or that testimony. Although that part seemed almost overly easy, right? Because it would literally, like, highlight in red that this testimony is now incorrect, and then we just literally had to open the thing and most of the time press on whatever thing we just discovered, right? So that part seemed very much like, okay, just click on this and click on that. While, on the other hand, the filling in of the gaps, it just seemed overly hard for no reason. And when I say overly hard for no reason is because if we actually found the information that we were supposed to find, by that point, everything was getting spelled out for us, right? They were like, you know, in various games, like when we play Golden Idol or any of those other ones, there is usually a lot of misdirection in the content, so you have to sift through the misdirection and be like, okay, this sentence didn't work because I fallen for the red herrings or misinterpreted the clues. But here it seemed like if the detective has caught on to the plot, you know, everyone would just confess and explain everything. So if we just got into that point, they would just say everything what we needed to do. So then the hard work of the game seemed to just be figuring out the order which we had to run to the different rooms and the different characters so that they would say the thing that they needed to say, and then figuring out what phrasing we needed to use for the sentences. And I mean, we've seen it even today, right? Sometimes I would be like, I don't have this information, but I guess this sentence makes sense. But then once we got to the information, they were just like, yeah, this was this, right? So it just felt like the mechanically, the process of investigating and the process of then filling in the clues, they just didn't seem to mesh that well. And that just made it for kind of, we've spent a lot of time just staring at the page being like, the something, the something something. Like, what is this even about, right? What does this mean? And then, yes, it's just kind of running back and forth to the police car because they're just like, oh yeah, it will be ready later. Like, when's later? Right? When is the right point that this is happening? So, yeah, it just didn't seem as smooth as some other things. Because, like, I've been thinking, okay, it's a bit different than a Golden Idol, right? Because at least what happens with Golden Idol is you look at contained scenes, so you know that, you know, you've investigated everything and you're good to start filling in. It's a bit harder when you can run around and talk to people, you know, to know and to well tell you when the point is for you to start filling things in. But if we think about Who Summoned It, that we played it recently, I think Who Summoned It did a much better job of a game where you were able to run around and talk to people and then filling a scroll, and we knew much better when to fill it a scroll, right? We knew much better whether we were at a good point to start filling something in or not. So I think even if we're saying, okay, they made it harder than the static games, right? Because of the free running around and free dialogue, we've seen better examples of that being done in games before as well. So I think as much as, you know, the story was interesting, sure, you know, a cool museum heist with like multiple layers and one person dragging another person into it, so it's not just one thing that happened, but it's like several layers. I think just the different things didn't like work so well together, right? It basically didn't feel like I was doing detective work as much as I was doing English test. English test of like, what goes in this gap? What grammar can we make? So, I mean, we made it through it, right? I hope you still, you know, found this at least somewhat entertaining to watch. But yeah, I have to say, it was not, like, I wouldn't rate it as high as the various other games we've played in the genre. It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate because, so yes, the Deaf Cats, they have made, as far as I know, they've developed lots of other cat games, but they're like hidden object cat games. They're actually quite fun to play. Like if you haven't seen them before, it's like, I think, an apartment full of cats and a castle full of cats and then the arcade full of cats. They're all called like something full of cats. And it's basically, you know, you just do hidden object cats. And, you know, if you like that sort of thing, it's fun. Not really a game for this channel, just something I've played before. And as far as I know, like they, you know, they use the money they get from game development for like rescue cats. If I remember that correctly, let me look that up so I'm not lying to you. Yeah, Deaf Cats. Yeah, they make games. We're 6 rescue cats making biscuits and cat-themed games while raising awareness on adoption and rescue. Yeah, so they're very cat-centered and they have a ton of games about cats. So that's where I know that name. But I guess they're a publisher now. That's why. So they're not the developer of this game. They're a publisher of the Feline Forensic, and it was made by Nobody's Crown. So that's how that relationship of this game works. But yes, if you like hidden object games and the cats, I can recommend the other Deaf Cats games about finding cats, because those ones are quite fun. By the way, it occurred to me that in Who Summoned It, we were actually the Scroll of Truth as a character, meaning we declared Ricky the Truth Meister. Yes, I think I've read that eventually in the description of the game. Yes, in Who Summoned It, we were actually the Scroll. We were not Ricky. Ricky was just there with us. He was providing us moral support, and I guess a mouth, because the Scroll can't speak so well, so Ricky was doing all the talking for us. Cat publisher, cat publisher, yes, basically they're a cat publisher. They're a cat game publisher. Dev cats. So they publish cat games and they make cat games. So, you know, that's at least something good to bring into the world. Cat games. It was also interesting because it felt like the story was trying to touch on some, like, you know, topics that are more serious, right? Because he was talking about, like, the critic, right? It kind of touched on the fact that he was gay, but he felt like he had to hide himself, right? But it just was kind of brief. And then, yes, the reason the punk and the student were doing this was because the punk couldn't afford his heart surgery, right? So it started to touch on that sort of stuff. And then, of course, the evil investor, capitalism versus art. But it didn't really take it anywhere, right? It wasn't then going deep into those topics. It just kind of surface leveled them on top of the whole conversation. So I don't know. Was it trying to make serious statements or not? Hard to say. Hard to say. But I mean, I always say, you know, making a game is hard, right? Making a game is hard, and people, especially for like indie day games, like a small team or one person just works by themselves to bring something they want to put out into the world, right? It's basically art. It's art they're trying to make, and art they're trying to share with the world. So I always feel bad when I'm being harsh, about the games like this. So I just want to clarify that, you know, it's not like I'm saying this is the worst game I've ever played. It's definitely not. It's definitely like the art was cool. The story was fine. It's just it could have used more testing, more kind of testing of the detective mechanics. Maybe that would have helped. Anyway, and yes, something about the UI, like improve the UX of the book. That could have definitely done something. Oh well. Anyway, I've yapped a long time. We've solved the case, so we're all good. But yes, I guess we're gonna wrap it up here, and we're gonna get ourselves ready for the hot week ahead of us. So if you haven't seen the post on the channel this week, Letter Lost is coming in 2 videos. There's gonna be 2 videos from Letter Lost. Absolutely crazy shenanigans at the post office, right? I'm not sure you're prepared for the amount of crazy that happens at the post office. And then yes, I have finally finished the Red Pearls of Borneo. The final story, Cynthia's story, is also coming, because I was also not prepared for how long that game was after the first times I hit the credits. Because then there was second credits, and then there's third credits. It just kept going. It just would not stop. But so yes, that's gonna be on the channel this week as videos. Now, next weekend, what we're gonna do, specifically on Sunday, we're going to play Dim Heaven on stream. So if you're not familiar, Dimhaven is a new adventure puzzle game from the creators of Quern. I have played Quern on the channel previously. The game is coming out tomorrow, but I'm not gonna have time to neither stream it nor record it till basically Sunday. So I did the demo for Dimhaven, which is why I'm feeling like, you know what, we may as well do the first few hours of the full game as a stream, because it's probably gonna cover things that were already in the demo. So we should be good, right? We should be good to just go through the first few hours in a stream. But after that, it will probably go to a video series, because if it's anything like Quern, after like the initial stuff, there's probably gonna be some puzzles that I will be like, I need to think about it for a while, right? So it's gonna be more of like a longer thinking game, which are usually better as videos than streams. But again, because I did the demo, probably the first like couple hours is gonna be familiar material, so it should be fine on stream. Yes, it's the one with the tickets with the numbers and the chair that took me forever to figure out. I have to spin the chair to sit in the right place to take a picture. But yes, that will be on Sunday, then I'll have to find out what I'm doing on Monday. Do you keep your backlog updated? I do it like every couple of weeks. But yes, I am not like super consistent doing it every time, every day. I try to remember, so it's probably not up to date now. So I have to go through it again. But I basically do try to go through like, you know, the wish list and the backlog to make sure, you know, if people are like, oh, have you heard about this game? It should usually already be in there. Like the wish list and the backlog in my backlog is quite long. It's just you know, I'm not always up to date with like the games I'm currently playing and what I've played. But yeah, and like it has a wish list and a backlog, which I basically treat as backlog is the games that are currently out as far as I know, and then the wish list is games that are not out, so I know which things I could possibly be playing if I need something new. But yeah, unfortunately there isn't like a good way to because I wanted to like figure out a way to share my Steam wish list, but it basically just involves like exposing all of my Steam profile and all that kind of stuff, so that didn't feel like it works the best for sharing with like a wider crowd. So yeah, gotta do it manually. Anyway, yes. I hope you all... Yes, you'll be seeing the rest of my Steam stuff, which, I mean, I don't have, like, you know, what secrets could you possibly have on Steam, but at the same time, you know, I'm likely too small to have this sort of issues, but I obviously heard plenty, like, bigger, as you get bigger, you know, people start coming out of different places, and having things exposed can cause you issues, right? So I'm trying to anticipate things and not accidentally show too many things on the internet, if that makes sense. So hopefully, you know, I just have to remember to keep my backlog list updated. Okay, well, I hope you all have a good week, and I hope to see you all in a future stream or in the comments, wherever you might be going. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today, and that's gonna be it for the Feline Forensics and the Meowseum mystery. We learned that you have an immense number of hours in something strange. My longest are idle games and for example, yeah. I mean, I probably do. I probably have something, some weird games back from the day. Like, I think I have silly amount of hours in certain games because sometimes I forget to close them. And I think there was at some point a bug in Hamster Mind where I would close the game, but Steam would think it's still running. So I have like hundreds of hours in Hamster Mind just because my computer thought the game was just constantly running on my computer. So, weirdness. Anyway, yes. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for chatting or just hanging out, you know. Thank you for liking the stream if you did. And as always, thank you to all the members for supporting the channel. And hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Firefly says bye-bye. No, Firefly is still having her naps.